Hi friends, it's Lala. I'm finally ready to tell you my top 10 books of 2017. This was such a hard decision. I read the most 5-star books this year of any year of like my entire life. I considered doing a top 17 of 2017, but if I did that, I wanted to do a top 25 because I think I read like 25 5-star books this year. So on the last day of the month, go ahead and check out my like everything I read in 2017 video, because I will show you a pan of all the 5-star books I read this year, because I want to talk about all of them and it's hard to restrict myself to just 10. But I did it, so let's get started. The first one is right here. It's The Names They Gave Us by Emery Lord, which follows a girl whose mother is sick and she is moving from her normal Bible camp that she goes to every summer to a camp for troubled teens, and this is the most emotional I have gotten reading a book this year. Coming in at number 9, Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado, a selection of really intense, weird stories about violence and women's bodies. Number 8 on the list is A House at the Bottom of a Lake by Josh Malerman. This is a very short story about a couple and their first date. They discover this underwater house and it becomes their obsession. Number 7 on my list is When Dimple Met Richie by Sandra Menon. This is the story of a girl who goes to a technology camp. She meets a boy named Richie. Richie has plans to marry her in the future. She has no knowledge of such plans, and it's their adorable romance. Coming in at number 6 is Far From the Tree by Robin Benway. This follows 3 siblings who have never met because they were all adopted or put into foster care, and they're all coming together for the first time at very pivotal points in all of their lives. Kicking off the top 5 is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This follows Star, whose best friend was killed by a police officer and she witnessed it, and it's her having to be the voice of the situation, dealing with police brutality and racism. And at the same time, it's a really heartwarming story of her and her family. Number 4 is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This takes place in a neighborhood where all of the perfect people seem to have pretty similar opinions, and this new family moves in and shakes things up. There's a big topic of adoption and motherhood, and these families clash and come together in really interesting ways. We're into the top 3. Oh my gosh. Number 3 is A Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is a book about a bunch of pretentious university students and a murder. It's not a mystery because you kind of know right from the beginning what happens, but it tells you what leads up to that act, what happens afterwards. I loved it. In the number 2 spot is The Mare Thieves by Sherry Demeline. This is a near future setting where indigenous people are being hunted for their bone marrow, and it's really reminiscent of the residential schools. It is heartbreaking and powerful, and we follow this character who is trying to evade these people trying to murder him, but also rise up against them. And in my number 1 spot, it's Dress Codes for Small Towns by Courtney Stevens. This follows a girl and her group of friends trying to save the Harvest Festival, and it's a light contemporary but has a lot of really powerful messages. And her and her group of friends are all insanely close, and she's in love with a couple of them and trying to decide what that means for her and what that means for her sexuality and discovering herself and being the voice of her town. And there's so much in here that I loved and connected with. Favorite book of the year. And those are my top 10 books of 2017. Let me know if you've read any of these or if you're going to. Obviously, of all the books I read this year, these are the ones I suggest the most, but it depends on, you know, your reading taste. Hopefully there's something here for everyone. Let me know your favorite books of the year, or link me to your video or your blog post if you talked about them somewhere so I can check them out. I hope you are checking out all of my videos coming out at the end of the year, and I'll see you later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.